Hey, this is Jim with AO Reliance, coming at you with a ice challenge on a Yeti Tundra 65. I actually bought this cooler used 2 years ago. I've used it several times. Hadn't been impressed with it, but over the last 2 years of using it and doing research, there were 4 things that I was doing wrong that wasn't helping the ice retention of the Yeti. Now that I know that stuff, and I've watched all these ice challenges done by other channels and stores, they've all mainly been done in Florida. And I'm not saying it don't get hot in Florida, but it doesn't get as hot in Florida as it does here in Arizona, because Florida has a lot of moisture in the air where we don't get a lot of moisture in the air. So when it's 115 outside, it's 115. There's no heat index. But I am in the market for an additional cooler, and right now I've got it narrowed down to an Engel Deep Blue 50 quart or the Yeti Tundra 45. I've already gotten mine which one I'm gonna get, but before I spill that, I wanted to do this challenge. And the challenge is not only ice retention in real world use. In other words, this cooler is not going to be setting on my back patio or in the house for 5 days. It's going to be in the back of my truck. And so one of the other things that I'll be reviewing is the Yeti cable lock system made by Master Lock, and another Master Lock system, because this will be in the back of my truck. It's going to go everywhere I go, and my truck stays parked at the office all day long while I go out and do field work in my work truck. So this is how it's going to break down. Tonight I am going to leave this Yeti inside the house with it open. Get the inside of it down to ambient temperature. Tomorrow when I get home from work, I will fill this to capacity with ice and a couple bottles of water, and then this will get put in the back of my truck, locked down, and once in the morning I'll take a temperature of the outside, take a temperature of the inside, move the bottles around to the top to show the ice retention, and then I'll do it once again in the afternoon until the ice is completely melted in it. So whatever initial bags of ice it takes, that's what we're going to work with. It will be in the back of my truck, and right now in Arizona it is August 2019, and in the shade the concrete's 103. Out in the sunlight, the concrete is 130. Oh, it just moved back to 126 because I moved it, but it did say 130 on there. Let me see if I can get 130 on there again. Oh, that says 137. I don't know if you guys can see that out there in TV land, but 137 in the sunlight. Top of the cooler is 108. Inside the cooler is 97.5. So stay tuned. I'll try to keep this video short as possible. I don't like making long videos, but that's going to be the challenge. So let's get it started today. I will place it inside with the lid open, where it will stay for 24 hours to get the cooler down to ambient air temperature inside, which is 78 degrees. That's what we keep our air conditioner at. And then tomorrow we'll fill her up with bags of ice and some water, and we'll get her locked down in the truck. Alright guys, first step of the challenge, we are now indoors. I got the door open. The indoor ambient temperature of the house is 78 degrees. That's where we keep it. Right now, with the cooler just being brought in here, we're at 91. So just in the few minutes it's been in here, it's dropped over 5 degrees. But this is going to remain like this until I get off of work tomorrow afternoon, which would exceed the 24-hour requirement, because the rule of thumb on any of these coolers before you use them is to bring them to ambient temperature or pre-chill them for 24 hours. Some people use a sacrificial bag of ice. I'm electing just to do a 24-hour hold in the house down to 78 degrees, and then we'll fill the Yeti up to capacity with ice and water and start the challenge. But this is how we're starting. Alright guys, it's been 24 hours that the Yeti sat in the kitchen here with the lid open. 78 degrees still on the thermometer, so should be relatively certain that 78, 78, 78, 77.5. Oh, we should know by this point that we're maintaining 78 degrees through the full cross section of the cooler. I've got 3 bags of ice and some bottles of water. I'm going to go ahead and put the Yeti in the back of the truck, and I'm gonna take it outside in the carport in the shade. We're gonna go ahead and put the ice and the drinks in it, then we'll throw it in the back of the truck and lock it up, and then this will start the challenge, or continue the challenge just with ice. Alright guys, be back in a second. Alright guys, I've got the coolers right there in the back of the truck. We'll walk over there in a second. So I've got 4 bags of 40 pounds of ice in the Tundra 65. It is Monday afternoon, approximately 1:30, and it is hotter than hell out here. It's 112 degrees, and it's only going to get hotter. I think it's going to get up to 114, 115 by 4 o'clock today. So here we go. Come over here. So there she is. Okay, there's the Tundra. Well, there's both the Tundras, Toyota Tundra and the Yeti. But I've got her locked down, and yes, I'm aware somebody can just use bolt cutters to get away with it, but they'll have to create a scene doing it. I put, like I said, 40 pounds of ice in there with 5 bottles of water. I will check it. Twice in a 24-hour period. I'll check it in the morning after about 12 hours. That'll be about 18 hours when I get up to leave for work, see how it looks, and then check the temperature on everything, and then I'll check it again in the afternoon when I'm getting ready to leave from work, or when I get home from work, and we'll check the temperatures on everything and see what we got left in there. But I think I'll be fairly secure with the Yeti being cable locked to the bed. I will lock the tailgate, and I will also put a lock through one of the holes to keep the lid down, because I'd almost prefer someone to steal the Yeti over stealing the frosty beverages like most people. But yeah, there you go. Day 1 started. Alright guys, 24 hours after 40 pounds of ice have been put in. It is ambient temperature at 95 degrees right now. The outside of the cooler is 103. Type ice did drop a little bit, but still got plenty of ice inside of the cooler. About 42 degrees inside the cooler, and this has been the 24-hour check. Alright guys, we've got 49 hours in on this, roughly. And I did open it, check the ice this morning, moved the drinks around a little bit. So this cooler is getting opened at least twice a day, sometimes 3. But this is the 48-hour check at 49. I have got 126. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that. On the cooler temperature on the top, 109 where it's shaded. Let's open it up. Ooh, and we're about halfway down with our ice bottle water. 59. I don't know if you can see that on the interior of the lid. 58 on the interior wall of the Yeti. Ice is at 38. Yeah. Some of the ice is. So yeah, lost quite a bit in the last. Lost quite a bit in the last 24 hours, but still plenty of ice in there. So I'll be back tomorrow, guys, with the 36-hour check. Alright guys, it is day 3 or 72 hours. It's a little over 72 hours by about 15 minutes. It's 1:45 and doing my second check of the day on this at the 72-hour mark, and we've got the air temperature outside was roughly 107 degrees last time I checked. Top of cooler 134. I don't know if you can see that. Opening up the Yeti, we've got an internal temperature on the Yeti itself at 49 degrees. Water has fallen to the bottom, so moving the water around. There's still big chunks of ice in here. But yeah, about 3/4, I would say about 3/4 of the 40 pounds is now just water. There is several big chunks of ice left in there. I am optimistic that we'll make 96 hours once all the ice is gone and it's all water. Challenge is done, but 72 hours. Still got ice in there. Internal temperatures of the cooler is 49 degrees. Ambient air temperature is 107, and it was 134, I believe, on the outside. So that's day 3, guys. Alright guys, I'm pushing 99 hours here. Wasn't able to check it at 1:30 because work got in the way, but we're 3 hours past that, so we're well into four days. I checked it this morning. There was still a big chunk of ice in there. Let's see if it's made it. Oh, let's go to temperatures here. We got 101 on the top, 101 on the sides. Open it up, and well guys, I'm gonna say we have all water in here. There's no ice left. It's still pretty cold. 52 on the inside, 56. So I'm gonna give it, because I checked it this morning. Well, we went 72 hours. Another 12 would be 484. 6. We probably pretty safe to give it a solid 4 days, because there was a big chunk of ice left in there as of 7:30 this morning, and that would have been 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, 1:30, 5 hours. I think it would have survived. It didn't get that hot today. I think the high got up to 98. I think the ice probably would have lasted until that last 5 hours. So I'm gonna give it 4 days. And extreme Arizona heat. I would expect a little more out of a Yeti at its price point, but this is August in Arizona, and there's only hotter place in the country than here in Phoenix in August in Arizona. Other than Phoenix, it's going to be Bullhead City, Kingman, everything along the Colorado River. They're usually 10 degrees warmer than we are here in Phoenix. So there you go. My ice challenge went 4 days. I was kind of hoping to see if it would make 5, but for me, a cooler to withstand the ice for 4 days is enough for any of the trips that I take. So with the end of this challenge, I am going to buy another cooler, and my choices in my head are between the RTIC 45, the Yeti Tundra 45, and the Engel Deep Blue 50 quart. I'm not in a great hurry or need to get that right away, but if this little challenge gets views and some activity on the video as far as comments, guys, put your suggestions in there and why you think I should go one over the other. And then when I finally decide on what I am going to do, I'll do an unboxing and why I decided to go that route over the other two. Now, I do know Orcas are pretty good, but they're up there with the Yetis in price, and I think I can do just as well with Engel Deep Blue, but I don't know. Time will tell. Got a month or so before I'm real serious about buying another smaller cooler for my John boat. So there's a challenge for you guys. Put your 2 cents in on what you think I should get, whether it should be an RTIC 45, a Yeti 45, or the Engel Deep Blue 50 quart. And any manufacturers happen to stumble across this, I'm always open for doing the same type of challenge with your cooler. So that being said, I'm Young with AO Reliance, and I hope my little experiment here helps you decide for or against Yeti. So take care.